In this video, we'll be looking at editing and sending a newsletter. I've already selected my recipients and I've loaded a draft, and now what I want to do is finish up the draft and send it out. By way of continuing our tour of the interface, I can point out here that we have a button called Merge Fields, and I can see that here, if we bring up this link, that there comes a pop-up window with a reference to all the merge fields that are available. A merge field is just a variable piece of information that changes depending on the particular subscriber. So we could, for example, see that we have a name merge field here, and if we close the pop-up and look down at our main editing field, we can also see that the newsletter begins with Dear Name in curly braces, where the name will be just replaced by the actual name of the subscriber. And we can edit our draft in exactly the same manner as if we were to edit our page in Tangora. So we have the possibility of using global typographies, though I should mention already now that there are certain limitations depending on the recipient's mail client. And there are various other rich text editing features, including creating links and inserting pictures. So I could just enter a bit of dummy text here, as well as adding a picture. And I could also add a link. This link could, for example, be to a particular news item on a news page in our solution. So now let's imagine that I'm done with my newsletter and we're ready to send it out. At the bottom, we'll see that we have several different options. We could send the newsletter if we were finished and we were sure that it was exactly how we wanted it to be. But let's leave that as the final step. We could save as if we wanted to make changes and create a copy, so we didn't save over an existing template if we wanted to keep that template intact, for example. And we also have the Save Draft option. In this case, we're saving a draft that we already have begun work on, so that will be the appropriate option. Next, we can see we have a test feature, and we can send out a test email to an email or emails of our choice, and we'll do that in just a second. But to round things off, I should just mention that we have another option here called Schedule, where we can actually select a given point of time out in the future, that is to say a date and a time, where we want to send out our newsletter. But let's get back to testing and sending. If I were to select Test here, and type in a couple of emails separated by a comma, and then hit OK, then I'll receive a test version of this email. Test mails, however, will not have any personalized information in them, so I'll see that if I open the results of this test, that name has not been merged. However, I should mention that if you do have the module external users, that you can use a test external user, and in this way you will be able to see examples of merged information. I'll show you how to do that in a later video. But if we finally send our newsletter here, we'll be able to see the results that contain the personalized merge field information. So when I hit send, I have a dialog which ensures that I've thought through the recipients of the email. Here we can see the number of recipients, and if I hit OK, we'll actually be sending our newsletter out, and we'll do that now. And let's take a look at the results here. I have up on screen results in Microsoft Outlook, in Google's Gmail, and Microsoft's Hotmail. Now, in many mail clients, we will have to actively indicate that we want to view images. Now, we may notice, again, some differences in the way that different mail clients show our emails. So it's a good thing to try to test a few systems if you can, and it's also a really good idea to have a simple design where there's room for a few discrepancies. All right, as a last order of business, I'm going to make sure that we hit a link to our website because we'll see how this information is collected as statistical information that we can access. In this video, we've learned how we can edit and send a newsletter. Next, we'll be looking at what information we have after a newsletter has been sent.